Right, Matt, thank you. It's primary day here in Ohio and Michigan, and if you plan to cast that ballot, here are a few things that you need to know. Polls in Ohio are open right now and close at 7:30 this evening. Northwest Ohioans will vote in contested primaries for state representative in the 41st district and the 43rd district. State rep and state senate races didn't make it on the May primary because of ongoing redistricting issues. Toledo Area Jobs with Justice is once again providing free rides to the polls to people unable to drive themselves. Since 2004, they have been helping people get to their voting location or just helping them figure out where to vote. Transportation is typically the biggest obstacle to get to vote, and this year 25 drivers are based out of their homes to hopefully get up to 40 people to the polls today.
People wouldn't vote at the end of the day. Today's a beautiful day, so a lot of the calls we're getting today actually is they're trying to check where they need to go to vote. They're taking the walk, they're going there. But on rainy days, things like that, we're a lot more valuable, especially in winter coming up when the general election is in November. The weather's bad, people need rides to be able to get there and be able to get back.
Now, if you need a ride, you can call 419-868-3669 or send an email to gotvOhio@gmail.com. The only reason why we're having an election in Ohio in August is due to the ongoing redistricting challenges. Officials approved several maps all summer long, all of which were rejected by the Ohio Supreme Court and ruled unconstitutional. Redistricting is when officials draw those new district lines, potentially changing who a person can vote for. Political gurus have been going to this website. It's called Dave's Redistricting, where you can see how the lines are drawn and get important information like the ratio in a given district who are Democrats or Republicans.
It's kind of been back and forth in the courts. And so, I mean, it was even hard for us to kind of keep up with, what's the official map now, because it's changed a bunch.
The website's creator, Dave Bradley, says he and his team want to provide voters access to information not readily available on the web. Viewers have been asking our Verify team if this election is worth their vote. Tatiana Cash is here to explain how the primary might be more important than the general election when it comes to a local state representative race.
This primary is uneventful for many counties in our viewing area since there aren't any contested races for the Board of Election to tabulate. But here in Toledo, your next state rep could be determined today. Let's verify. In early 2022, lawmakers could not agree on legislative maps during the redistricting process, leading the Ohio Supreme Court to push the state legislature election back to August. Now, let's focus on the Lucas County race that will determine the outcome in November. According to Dave's Redistricting, in District 43, which was drawn to heavily favor Democrats and covers a big portion of Toledo, Democrats out-favor Republicans 2-1. It's here Democrat Michelle Grimm and Daniel Ortiz are running. So the setup is for one person who wins the Democratic primary will take District 43 seat and become the next state rep.
The number of people that are in the district, it looks a certain way. But if you wanted a certain person to win, you need to go and at least do everything you can to vote in the primary so that that person gets to the general election.
So, is it worth voting in today's primary? If you're looking for a competitive race, it'll depend upon where you live, and that's if it's in District 43. It could make a big difference if you end up pulling a Democratic ballot. For more details on district lines, head on over to WTOL.com. With your Verify, I'm Tatiana Cash.
For voters in District 42, a familiar face will appear on the ballot. Toledo City Council person Nick Comives. Now, he actually took himself out of the running by withdrawing, but the ballots were made prior to that announcement, meaning voters can still cast a ballot for Comives, but it won't count. We are now officially 100 days away from the November general election, or the unofficial start to the campaign season. Candidates who will be on today's ballots have been concerned about the ever-changing congressional and state district maps, not knowing which voter they were appealing to. Now, we spoke to Wood County Democratic Chairman Mike Zicker, who says the confusion among candidates ends today.
One of the strangest primaries that I have known in Ohio history. Totally unnecessary, a waste of $20 million. We've got big, important choices about directions that our state's going to go in, important conversations to have, and so that time is now.
The general election is Tuesday, November 8th. You can read up on who so far will be on the ballot for that right now at WTOL.com. In Michigan, polls will close at 8 tonight. Voters will be deciding who will take on Governor Gretchen Whitmer in the November general election. 5 Republican candidates are vying for that spot. Local issues are also on the ballot. Blissfield voters will be asked to weigh in on a school bond issue. That money would be used for security, improvements to older buildings, and a performing arts and multi-purpose facility.
We feel like it's not just a school district effort. This is kind of a joint effort between us and the district. And, good schools make good communities. And I feel very fortunate to be at Blissfield. It's a great community.
If passed, the bond would cost the owner of property with a $100,000 taxable value $480 a year, or broken down to $40 a month.